Hey there, this is Bob Warfield from CNC Cookbook, and this is part 2 of our video series on designing a CNC guitar. In this installment, we're going to go through how to take the outline of the body that you started with in video 1 and create a 3D model of a very simple body style. Here's what we're going to get into in a little more detail. First, we need to take the outline that we took in the last video and scale it to fit our guitar neck's dimensions. Then we'll extrude that outline to create a 3D model. We'll round the edges a bit so they're not square. And then finally, we'll render the image so you can get an idea of what it might look like when it's finished. Sound good? Okay, let's dive in and get started. Here we are in Rhino 3D. CAD program that we use to capture the outlines, and I've chosen one of the simpler outlines to work from. And our first task here is we need to scale this neck pocket to be the size of guitar neck that we're going to use. Now you can, if you already have a neck, by all means measure that neck. I want to just build this guitar body though to standard dimensions. So if you get up and onto Google and you search for the standard dimensions for the neck pocket, you'll find a site very quickly. This is Warmoth Custom Guitars, and what they're telling us is that Strat pockets are 2 3/16 and so are Tele pockets. So we're going to use those dimensions for this, and 2 3/16 works out to be 2.1875 inches. So I'm going to start by creating a little rectangle here, and its only purpose is to capture that dimension. So let's make it 2.1875 inches, and we'll just make it square. Okay, so we want to scale this entire outline so that this pocket is now this wide. So to do that, I'm going to use the scaling transform, and I only need to scale in 2 dimensions because I've just got an outline. It's not 3D yet. So I'll go to Scale 2D, select what objects I want to scale. I want the body outline and I want the neck pocket. And I held down the Shift key as I click these so that everything stays selected. Right? And so I'm going to hit Enter because I'm done with that. And now the origin point. Let's scale from here, first reference. So that's my original size to my second reference here. And boom, that's all there is to it. I've now got my body all scaled to the appropriate size. I'm going to just delete this neck pocket rectangle I used. And we're now at the right size. We're ready to go to the next step. Okay, now we need to clean up this outline just a little bit so we have a continuous outline. So I'm going to take the rectangle tool again. I'm going to click here on that corner and then that. Okay, now we're going to use that little rectangle we created to finish out the body outline properly. So to do that, what I need to do is trim these shapes and then join them together. And so we'll start with a split. It says what object do you want to split? I want to split our small rectangle here. Hit Enter. And I want to split it where the outline meets it. So I'll select that outline as the cutting object. And I hit Enter. And this bottom part goes away. Okay, and that leaves this top part. So I'm going to take these two and I'm going to join them together. Okay, so now I have one outline there. That's the overall outline, and I still have a shape that's going to represent the neck pocket that we're going to cut down into that outline. Okay, so our next step is to extrude this to create some 3D volume to the shape. And so I go into the solid, extrude to the curve. I want to extrude it straight, and it wants to know what my extrusion distance is. And guitars like this, you know, you can go again, you can Google to find the dimensions, but they're about 2 inches thick in the body. So I'm gonna go down to the outline is at Z0, and I want to go down to to create my extrusion, and I want to make it a little easier to see what's going on. So I like the ghosted view for that. And so now we have a nice view here of this thing. You can kind of see, let's do another ghosted view, what's going on with it. And it doesn't look like we have we don't have a top. So I'm going to go ahead and do a cap the planar hole option there. All right. And let's just take a look at this and see what we think. Yeah. Okay. So we have the basic shape created, and we're ready to go on to the next step with it. Okay, so then the next thing we want to do here is we want to cut out that neck pocket that the neck is going to go into. And that's pretty easy to do. I'm gonna create another shape here using our neck pockets outline template. And I'm going to extrude that. You know, as far as how deep it needs to be, again, if we go out and Google, we see they're 5/8 of an inch deep, these neck pockets. So I want to do the exact same thing here. I want to go 5/8 deep. And so for the extrusion distance, I'm just going to put in minus 0.625 for 5/8. And boom, now I have my little shape. And let's make it a different color just so you can see better what's going on here. Let's get a little closer. Okay, I'm going to make that one, put that in the red layer. Yeah, now we can see a little bit better what's going on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the big guitar body slab, and I'm going to do a Boolean operation. Okay. And so what I want to do there is I'm going to do this guy. Let's back up here. Okay, so the way we subtract this out is we do what's called a Boolean difference. Okay, so I select Boolean difference, and it's literally subtracting one solid object from another. So what we're going to subtract from is the body. I hit enter, and what I want to subtract with is our little template guy I made here. And I don't want to delete him. I might need him for something later, so let's not delete him. And I hit enter, and you can see this now looks a lot cleaner. So this guy's been subtracted out. And we can, if we want to make that more obvious, we can hide him. And clean up a couple of these guys. We'll just delete them. We don't need them. Get them out of our way. I might just keep the body, the outline of the body, and I like to do that by putting them into what I call a construction layer. I always use layer 4 for that, and then I can just hide that layer and not have to see it. Okay, so now we have a pretty good guitar body. We've got a pocket for the neck to be bolted into. We've got the body itself. The last thing we need to do, though, is we need to clean up all these sharp edges. Guitars don't have sharp edges like that. And yeah, you could go through and CNC it so it comes out this way and just sand the sharp edges off. But, you know, we've also got the ability to do that using the Rhino CAD software, so that the CNC will help us by cutting most of that round shape for us. And again, this is really up to you how you want to do it. You could also take this into your CNC, and particularly since you have the outline available, run a corner rounding tool around the edge to cut that radius. But if you want to use a ball nose to do it as part of your 3D machining, it's better to go ahead and create the radius here that you'll work from. So I'm going to just I'm going to go ahead and save this so I have it in this shape, depending on what I want to do when I get ready to cut it. And now let me get in there and round off those edges. Okay, so to put a radius on the edge, I use a command here called fillet edge. It's real simple. I select the edge I want to fillet, right? This is the perfect edge for us. You gotta make sure what radius you want to fillet. I've got it set to 1/8 of an inch. You know, if you want a little bigger rounded edge, I don't know, we can go 0.15 of an inch. You know, the edges are selected. We just hit enter. It wants fillet handles. I'm just going to leave those be. And it goes, it crunches on it a while, and see, now we have a nice rounded edge there. And we can flip our guitar over like so, and we can fillet that edge too. Okay, fillet edge. Select the edge. Let's go ahead and get our fillet done. Okay, and now we've got it all nicely taken care of. So either way you want to do it, you can use the corner rounding tool, or go ahead with this approach and use your 3D toolpath to round that fillet. And with a nice tight step over, you'll still probably need to sand a little bit, but it'll be less sanding. The more you can get the machine to do for you, the better, as far as I'm concerned. You know, if there's other edges you want to put a little fillet on, that's entirely doable. You might want to, you know, carry the fillet around the neck here or not. It really depends how your neck is going to fit, or maybe just out this far. You might want to fillet that sharp corner. But you can always clean that stuff up by hand, sanding it as well. Now, I mean, obviously we're not done here. There's all kinds of pockets for pickups and controls and bridges and stuff we've got to put in. We need holes back here to mount the neck, so on and so forth. But for this video, I just wanted to kind of show the basics of how to start to get your shape the way you want it. And so that's what we got. Okay, the last thing I promised we were going to do in this video is go ahead and render this 3D model so we can see a little bit more what it might look like. So I'm going to switch the view over to a rendered mode. And what we have to do to really get this to be interesting is we're going to go to our layers, and we need to assign a material, and the guitar body is all in the default layer. So let's go ahead and assign a material to that. And so we bring up the material view, and I'm just going to click new, and it's going to take me to see all the materials I have available. There's different little subdirectories with different types of material. We're making a wooden guitar body, so I've got these different things available, and I don't know, I can see a little bit of a sketch of what they're going to look like. Beech, Douglas fir. Let's maybe make this guy out of some walnut. It'll be a darker wood. Okay, so we entered that in as our material, and it's got it, so we click the OK, and there we have it. We have a guitar with a walnut finish on it, guitar body. So it's kind of cool to be able to check out the different finishes. You can get these materials, you can customize them in various ways. You know, I can come in here and I can go, well, you know, let's put a very gloss finish on it. Let's see what that does for us. It makes it kind of shinier. You know, you could be doing a 2-layer guitar. It's really common to have, say, a figured maple top attached to a, say, a mahogany back. And you can model all of that in your CAM software and get some kind of a sense of how the guitar is going to look when it's finished. It's kind of fun. All right. That's our video. I thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more. I've got a playlist if you want to go through all the guitar design videos, and be sure also to check the blog for more information in a written form.